tuned in to Cardinal Sin and, where I, Cardinal Sin, discuss important pop culture news, reviews, movies, genre fiction, comics, storytelling, and just about anything else with my fellow YouTubers. Get ready for informed conversation about what's going on, for as your humble host, I rely on my guests to provide the talking points, whether it's a panel or just me one-on-one with a friend. So get ready for Cardinal Sin and...
Greetings, followers. It is I, Cardinal Sin, and I would like to welcome you to Cardinal Sin and Jace Fawkes. And here is Jace Fawkes. How are you?
Hello, everybody.
I'm so honored to have you on the show and glad that you could make this evening.
Oh, yeah, man.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Been working a lot and trying to get, everything on place again.
So, you are the founder of Studio 540.
540 Studio, yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about 540 Studio?
Yeah, I can do that. Well, 540 Studio is 540 was always a name that has been with me since I was a child. I don't know why. It was just a name that I was really into. And I always wanted to start something of my own. Since I wanted to make my own content. I wanted to make my own stories, a lot of stuff like that. So I started really when I was really young. And then years later, I said fuck it. I said fuck it. Let's do it. I'm just gonna do it. Just gonna start it, and I started to mess around with making logos, and our old logo looks really bad. Unfortunately I don't have it, but it looks really bad. But it was always like an hourglass. The hourglass on a company is I've always had this in my mind, is that life's too short and you have to make the most of it.
The F and then the F upside down.
Yeah, together
I love that. That hourglass logo is really cool.
Yeah, and that was always the point. It was just my old co-host who helped me redesign it. But the hourglass stands for life's too short and make the most of it.
I was just going to ask you that.
Yeah.
That the hourglass is there because time is always running out.
Yeah. We are like a vessel, and like I say, you never know when you're gonna go away. You never know what's gonna happen in life.
We just lost Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, I heard
American
that.
comedian.
Yeah, I heard that, and rest in peace to that guy.
Yeah.
No,
and,
so
in the last 2 years, we've lost a lot of people important to genre fiction.
Yes.
From Star Wars and Star Trek and
Yep.
Doctor Who and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's especially during this time of COVID, it's a good reminder, as they say, memento mori. Always be aware that you will die.
You always have to, you live once, and in this life, and you should never don't let anyone push you down. Don't let anyone, put you on your knees. Don't kneel to anyone, and do what you want, do what you love, and fight for it. Like I say, life's too short. Make the most of it. That's every stream that I do, I end it with that, because that's how I always have been thinking. But We started, with just streaming games. We just started streaming games on Twitch, and that's like how we finally started to build up. Um, so the plan for 540 was never like just gaming. That was always going to be a part of the company. Um, so like now, we have the main channel where we talk about, pop culture and other stuff. And at some point, like I said, in like 3 to 4 years, we are gonna do more
Game
filmmaking.
development.
Um, Unfortunately, I will not do any game development, but I will try at some point finding people to work with to make games. But we are gonna focus mostly on making a lot of movies, like short films, movies, TV shows. We want to find people who makes comics and stuff like that. That's really
Cool.
important.
Well, definitely hit me up because I've written a dozen fantasy role-playing
Yeah,
games, and as you know, I'm a screenwriter,
yeah, of course. I
and
like
I've
to
been an
collab with people.
actor and director and voiceover artist, etc. So, not
Mm,
to toot my own horn, but if you're
no,
working
no,
with people outside of Norway, then definitely think of me.
yeah. I also are gonna. I'm also gonna ask Memnock to maybe help us doing some fight choreographing some fight scenes, and I have been thinking if he wants to join our fan film, I want to ask him to like, hey, you wanna join our fan film and be our emperor or something,
And
because
do some of the soundtrack.
maybe me and him has actually talked about something else for the channel,
Hmm.
but unfortunately I can't say it yet. It's still a bit on the low, on the low.
Down
Um,
low. Yep.
yeah, a little bit on the down low. Um, but no, that's a bit about the company and what I'm thinking. And unfortunately, I had to let some people go from the company lately. So we are trying to get back into what I wanted to be and what the plan was. So we're trying to like figure out a new style for the gaming channel and make it better. And we tried two streams, me and Chris West, my one of my editors, and she's also one of my co-hosts in gaming. We got a lot of views on those videos and new streams. She did this was the first time she ever did a stream on her own with me.
Hmm.
Of course, I was there to play with her, but it was the first time she was trying this out, like stream and stuff like that.
How'd she
And
do?
she nailed it. She's a fucking natural on it. As
Cool.
like I told her, this is why I wanted you in my company, because when I saw you for the first time, this is what I saw in you. I saw this natural talent in you. You're not a sellout. You are you. You are a person who are yourself. You have your own fantasy, that you are your own person, and I love that with you. And like I told her, I look at you as my little sister, and I am so goddamn proud of you for how far you've come in our company. Because one of the problems I had with the gaming channel is that when we had the big Thursday gaming streams, with my all, I don't want to bring up drama or anything, but the problem was that two other people who was in my stream, my old co-host and our other person in the company, they were always pushing her aside in the back, and that really made me
Mm.
pissed. It really made me pissed because, like I told my old co-host, is that she's also a part of this, this company. She's also the other face of the gaming channel. I
Hmm.
don't want her to be pushed back. I want her to show herself too. So I'm really happy that she finally got her shot, and I don't regret for the choices I did. It was for the best, and now she's shining on that channel, and I'm so happy, and I'm so excited to see her future.
It sounds like the company is in good hands.
It is. And no, so that's a little bit about it. Is there anything more you want to know about the company? Anything you're wondering about the company?
Just things that I thought, the audience might want to be put in the know about what the future of Studio 540 will be.
Yeah. No. No, that I understand, and no, it's gonna be amazing.
You
I'm
guys
looking really
are
forward.
going to generate content,
Yeah,
genre fiction across many disciplines.
yeah, and we did have some rules, and I am just gonna point this out. I am looking at the chat, and with the things there that it had to be done. I'm not angry at you, Jet Sparks, but you spammed. We have a rule. If you do spam us, we are gonna block you because it's getting too much. And
Well, and I mean, any kind of troll activity,
yeah,
it detracts from the channel and the ability of the company to function.
yeah. So like I've said this before in streams, is that we select people who we want on the channel now, because we had a troll earlier on this year, and a lot of things did happen, so we had to strict ourselves a little bit more of who we have on. And one thing we really have to like trust the people too that we also have on. We don't want a new geeky pixie situation.
Right.
Yeah.
And you may have to explain the Geek Kicky situation for the
Oh yeah.
audience.
So the thing is that with Geeky Pixie, it's actually it was a guy pretending to be a girl, and he did
With the software. And
yeah, he
everything.
used software, voice changers, and he tricked tricked Geeks and Gamers, Echo Base, and a lot of other people, and tricked people from money and stuff like that. But he got doxxed. People did take him, and now everything is on the line again. But it really hurt.
And now he's using a different.
Yeah,
pseudonym.
he is using a different name, and he's still out there. So you just have to be careful, as we always say.
So I wanted to ask you, since you and I are friends, and it's difficult for me to get you on my Sunday panel show, which is why I'm doing these individual one-on-one interviews.
Yeah.
Or conversations, really.
Yeah.
I heard that your dad fell ill. How is he, and what's the situation there?
My dad, he's always headstrong, so he's like, no matter what I say, he's gonna be like, I'm fine, don't worry. No, he has some problems with his body, with blood veins and a lot of stuff like that. And so the blood is like blocked in a lot from his heart and down to his legs, and everything, like from the heart to down to the feet, basically, and his whole body. And he did have a heart attack, and some years ago he had a heart attack. And he's losing feelings in his legs and stuff like that. And it's like
no.
Yeah, so he's always feeling bad. So it's like always 50-50 on his survivor chance. And the doctors in Norway, I am, like I always say, I'm really disappointed, because he needs an operation. He needs this operation to fix his heart and the blood veins and everything. But they don't want to do it, because they're like, it's 50-50 chance to die and live. But they also tell him, with having the problem you have now and just living with it, it's also 50-50, because you can get a blood clot or whatever it's called, and stuff like that. So it's like he still lives in 50-50 basically area, basically, of he can die or live. So
wow,
it's really sad. I have been real depressed for months now, because I think about it a lot. And one of the streams I did with T-shirt historian, I think it was, I got a call from my dad and like stuff like that. And then he gets to the hospital, and finally we hope that he will get help. and they just send him home again, and it's just like, come on. You see that he's in pain with his body right now. He needs the operation you told him about. So please, I I don't believe in God, but sometimes with this situation with my dad, I do find myself to pray sometimes. I'm
You
not for
still have the urge to pray. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's my father, and I know you understand that a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my father is my best friend. He's the one who always encouraged me, the one who always believed in me in the hard times. Every time I was down, he always tried to build me up and make me the man I am today. Because I do have I have mental illnesses, borderline bipolar and PTSD.
It seems
And
like almost every creative person I know is somewhere on the spectrum.
yeah. And so I have had a lot of, the suicidal thoughts. I've gone through a lot of, I have done stupid things like drugs and alcohol, drinking too much alcohol, and a lot of stuff like that. And my dad has always been there to try to help me stop doing all that and trying to help me to come over all the problems. So all the things that my dad have done, this is what he's the best friend in my whole life, and I will not stop fighting for him no matter what it is. I want to help him. I wish he had a car. I have been thinking about maybe making a GoFundMe or something for my father so he can actually get a car, because he doesn't have money. He has really problems with money. He doesn't get a lot of money, because I get a lot more money than him, and the reason he doesn't get a lot of money is because he gets paid by the state, because he has bad back, he's problems with his body. He got that fibro something.
Fibro.
Fibromyalgia.
Fibromyalgia.
He got it on the worst case.
That's awful.
He has it on the worst case. I'm trying to help him to get a car, and because we want to meet more. We want to spend more time together.
You're a good son, Jace.
Thank you. So I will do whatever I can to help him. And if it wasn't for my father, I would not actually have my new gaming computer, because he said fuck it, and he just gave me the money to buy a new gaming computer. Thank you. And like I said to my dad, don't give me that money like you need it yourself. But it was like, this is your birthday present, because I have my birthday is next month, so this was my birthday gift from him.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. It's next month, the 16th, in October, and I will have a big stream, so I will invite you, Cardinal Sin. I will invite a lot of people, and just have a chill time together, and just have positive vibes, talk about things we love, and of course we always gonna talk about some things we hate, but that's how it is.
I remember doing my birthday stream with Mexican Iron Man, because his birthday was the same week, and that was a blast. We had so much fun.
That's really nice. Now, so I just want to say, because I know my father will watch this at some point, because he always watches what I do. Dad, I fucking love you, and I will always be there to the bitter end. I will be there to the day you go away, and that I will be the one to take you with me the rest of my life.
May it be far from now.
And I hope for that too. But the good thing with me and my dad is that he always prepared me for this. That's what I love about him. Because he knew that with his illnesses in his body and all that he can die earlier, in an earlier age. And he is just 53 now, I think, or will be 53, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm the same age as your dad, man.
But no, I know he will fight. He's like our great grandmother. Rest her soul. My dad is really much like her, because she's the strongest woman I've ever known. My great grandmother. That's a strong woman. She knew that, you know, when she got cancer, right? She got throat cancer. Fun fact: it was not because she was smoking. Actually, it's in our family. Cancer. We have cancer. Like we have cancer.
Yeah, in my family too.
Yeah. But yeah. So when she got, you know, found out that no. So when my great grandmother knew she got cancer, she's the one who inspired me with this. You know, life's too short, make the most of it. Just in Norwegian. And when I do think about it, she's one of the people that inspired me to actually, you know, make my own company in a way. When I do think about it, I've actually never thought about it before. But she's the one who inspired me. And I remember this fun time at the hospital because, you know, she lost her tongue, right? So she had problems talking. But the fun thing is that she wanted to go outside with my dad and me. I didn't smoke, of course, because I was really small. But my dad and her, she wanted to take a smoke. So they went outside for a smoke. And you see the doctor. He comes out and he's just like, you can't smoke.
Yeah.
And she just looks at
she's
him.
like, fuck you.
Yeah, she showed the finger and said, you know, just show the finger. And the things that...
Oh, yeah, because she had her tongue out.
Yeah, but when she mumbled, you did understand her.
Mm-hmm. I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, and she was just a precious, fucking beautiful woman to be around. And so she fought, and she was not scared of death. And so is my dad. He's a strong Norwegian. No, actually, he's not Norwegian. Fuck, he's just born in Norway. He's a strong Romanian German.
There you go.
Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, that's about my dad. A little bit about his health and stuff like that. We will fight.
I put a link Andy Masterson sent for people with fibromyalgia.
Yeah,
that you might.
I'm gonna look
wanna
through
check
it.
out.
I'm gonna do that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Andy's all over it with the exercises and, you know, things that make people in pain feel better, and it works. I'm a living example.
Yeah, no, I will look at it. Hopefully, you know. The only problem is that my dad can't move. He can't move a lot with this blood problem.
Yeah,
because he loses feelings. So, but you know, we will fucking fight. You know,
some of the chronic pain exercises that he's made videos on his channel, you can do in bed, you know. But of course, as he says in the video, you always want to ask your doctor first if you're healthy enough for even minimal activity.
Yeah, no, that is true. But no, you know, my dad is the best guy ever, and I'm really excited to like see him. I know that he's gonna fight, so I'm excited to see him fight. We're not gonna give up.
That's great.
Yes.
As you're aware, I lost my dad about a month ago, and he had a long, very busy life. He lived to 92, and you know, the last 6 months was pretty much when he was ill. He'd had a couple of strokes before that, but he was still mentally all there. Yeah. And you know, he wasn't in any pain, died in his sleep. You know, couldn't ask for a better situation.
Yeah.
So.
I understand, and rest in peace to your dad, and
thank you.
And he would be proud of you, man. You are an amazing guy, and you're doing good work here, and he would be proud. No,
Well,
he
thank
wouldn't.
you.
He is proud. I know he is.
I appreciate your saying so.
No
I
problem.
wrote an obituary, and I put it on my Facebook page, and I
Yeah.
was really amazed at how many comments the thread had. It went into like the 300s. It might still be going actually, but all in my lifetime,
Yeah.
living here in Lawrence, where the University of Kansas is, I've always had people come up to me and, say, "Hey, are you Zamir Bell's son?" And people used to come see one of my bands play because it was the professor's kids band,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And even not very long ago, before he died, there was a guy that had been a student of his long time ago, like 1972, that asked after one of his compositions, the Hanukkah Fantasy,
Mm.
and I had a copy on cassette, so I sent it to him, and the guy
Oh,
said he was 72, and he was an ex-student of my dad's.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, his music is still out there. It's being played on the radio in Israel every day.
Nice.
He was a very difficult man to grow up in the shadow of it.
Yeah.
He was an Olympic athlete, an internationally renowned composer and violinist.
Mm.
Taught computer science and logic for 50 years. I mean, he helped found the whole department and idea of computer science. And once I remember when I was working on the illustrations for one of his mathematics textbooks, he told me that part of what I've made will be in every robot ever made.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, and I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Insane.
Anyway, we want to see your father, continue to fight and be as well as he can.
Yeah.
And let's go ahead and segue into your band. I've
Oh yeah,
never
the
really
bands I
heard
used
very
to be
much
in.
about your band.
No, I'm not in a band right now, but I used to be in bands when I was younger. My last band was Freeze Frame. That was our old name. We don't have anything out, but we did work on a song many years ago. It's like 4 or 5 years now.
And
Um,
this, of course, with a Norwegian death metal band, right?
yeah, well, I wanted to, how do I say it? I wanted to try different things because I didn't want to make just one thing. I want to like try some deathcore, I want to try some metalcore, and I want to try some more rock and R&B or pop rock. I want to try different stuff for different songs. And the problem was that the others in my band could never agree.
Yeah.
And they told me, but Jace, you are the founder of the band and stuff. You have the final say, and I did. They're like, okay, I want to be an experimental band, and they were like, no, no, shit, that's boring. We want to do this. I'm just like, for fuck's sake. But
That reminds me of something that I went through. You know that I've been in many
oh yeah,
bands.
you have.
I founded a band, and it was very successful
Mm,
for what it was, and locally kind of a big deal. Got this close to being signed by a record label,
mm,
and the other guys in the band who I had considered my friends
yeah.
and who are my friends now. I mean, then we were younger and it it was
Yeah.
a bizarre situation. But they had started rehearsing with another drummer, but kept rehearsing with me. And I found out that they had kicked me out of my own band when I
Really?
went to a gig and I started loading up my drums, and the bartender is like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm loading up my drums. We're playing a gig here tonight." And he said, "No, you're not."
What
And I
the
was
fuck?
like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay."
Yeah.
So I went to each of their houses that night, and none of them were home. They had all gone somewhere else.
Oh, that
Maybe
sucks,
maybe
man.
they were at the other drummer's house. I don't know.
Yeah.
But kind of a shitty way to find out that you've been kicked out
Yeah.
of your own band.
Yeah, for me, I decided to leave the band, and I said, "You guys can do what the hell you want to do," and they never found a new vocalist. But no, we had a lot of plans as Freeze Frame. We want, we did some small stage stuff in Norway, and nobody have heard of us, of course. But we just small locations in. I'm not gonna dox myself, but where I used to live before here. So we have like this little small thing where you can like stay up on stage and sing and do whatever. So I used to be there with the band a little bit.
Are there
But we
any
didn't.
existing recordings or anything?
No, unfortunately. The song that we did start to record, unfortunately, the drummer, who was also our music editor and producer basically and stuff like that, he got so mad at everything that he deleted the whole thing.
Oh,
So, but I do actually have some of the lyrics from one of the songs that I did write, that I'm actually remaking because I am gonna do music at some point again, but it's not gonna be metal. It's gonna be something else, a bit more of a solo project.
and
Uh,
in a second, I'm going to ask you the difference between death metal and black metal and metalcore and all that kind of stuff. But
I am
first,
I
I
am
want
more
to-
of a core person, so
I
I
want
know more of the
to
difference.
let folks know that the Stream Elements bot is here, but the tip jar isn't. So if for any reason you should decide to tip me, if you enjoy the content, if you'd like to buy me a coffee or send me $1 or two, you can do so through this personal PayPal link. It's 100% secure. I don't see any of your credit card information or anything like that. So if you have a hankering to help me buy a pizza or coffee or something like that, you can do so there. And with that out of the way, please tell us the difference between these different genres.
Well, I grew more up as a deathcore and metalcore person. But black metal, you have mayhem. You have mayhem. Super black death metal who are insane. But when it comes to like more core music, deathcore, that's more brutal. It doesn't have clean vocals. It's full on deathcore, and of course you are going
Yeah.
full like that. And
So it's more like hardcore punk.
it is super hardcore in deathcore metal. So you have more heavy riffs, you have blast beats, you have deep breakdowns, low tuned range extended guitars, and a lot of stuff like that. And in metalcore, it's the combination of like more heavy metal and thrash metal and even some
Melodic.
melodic and electronic, and you mix it with the hardcore. It's not that hard as deathcore, but you can mix it up. You can also use screamo, you can use emo punk and glam into it.
Which
So it's
genre would you say is more structured
of deathcore and metalcore.
of any of them?
Oh, I don't know, man.
Black metal, deathcore, etc.
What do you mean? Like
Like structured as far as songwriting, vocals,
Oh,
that kind of
oh,
thing?
dude, that really depends because I listen to a lot of different bands, and a lot of the bands I do mostly listen to always have like deep texts and really focus on a story in the song, and they focus a lot on the beats and the music at the same time. Like you have Asking Alexandra, who used to be a metalcore band, and they had different type of songs, and they have everything from drinking to other stuff. But now they turned away from the metalcore and deathcore stuff, and they became more of a rock metal band. They have like different styles into it. But most of the things that I listen to always have like a deep meaning and stuff like that. But my favorite type of music, in metal, rock, punk, whatever, it's gonna be the band Slaves. Not the UK Slaves, but American Slaves. Um, they have like I miss the old vocalist, but they always have like good lyrics about it can be from mental health to other stuff, to other stuff, and also when it comes to Slaves, also is that the vocalist they used to have, Johnny Craig, my all-time favorite vocalist. It's like it's
And
Chester Bennington.
are you saying Slade?
Slaves,
Slaves.
yeah, the
Okay.
American
Because
Slaves.
there was a band called Slade, Slade. I
Oh,
was
no, no.
just making sure.
Yeah. But no, they have more of a, they don't have like music, but they have more of a R&B style with metal cores, instruments. And the way they make everything sound is just what I live for. That's like my favorite band
So
ever.
when you're kicking it, listening to your tunes, that's what's in your player.
That's mostly a lot is that band. It can go when I used to, I looked at my Spotify and Slaves was on the top and they showed me how much I was listening to their songs and I'm just like, oh shit. Oh shit. That
All slaves, all the time.
yeah, it always pops up. And I also like, pirate metal, Viking metal. I saw Eluvetti, a folk metal band. Fantastic
Wow.
people live. Yeah, they
Folk
were.
metalcore.
Yeah, and fun fact, they do actually sing on the old language too.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
That's cool.
yes. And but yeah, since we are talking, talking about metal and rock and stuff, I'm gonna have Memnock back on my channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty excited for it.
You had a graphic to
I
share.
Yeah, I do have an intro. And I will say this, the band have given license to me and everyone to use their music.
Cool.
Um, and if you get any problems with some strikes or anything, contact Memnock and
I
talk to
will. I
him.
have his email.
Yeah, or I can also always talk to him. But yeah, I can find it
Yeah.
if you want me to share it.
Go ahead and share it, and we'll full screen it.
Yeah. Um, let's see here. Gonna put that there, and then I have so many edit videos on my computer. I have to just find it.
The
No,
Nerdporial Lifeform asks, Jace, do you think the Vikings would be metalheads if metal existed back then?
maybe I think so. You have
Wow.
you have a lot of fighting music, in metal.
That would be a really cool, and you've probably already thought of this, but that would be a really cool scene in a film, you know, a period piece where the Vikings are fighting and you have that kind of Norwegian black death metalcore
Yeah.
as the soundtrack, just biting guitars and really deep, scowling, growling.
Yes. So let's see here. Share screen.
As far as you know, are there any films that have done that?
No, I have not seen anyone. At least
That's a really cool idea.
it is. So yeah, no, I'm sharing it now. And I'm always using VLC because that's the best.
And let me take my brand off of that. All right.
There. Yeah. So yeah, this is a premiere. Not premiere, but I have showed it before. But yeah, this is the teaser to. I hope you guys have sound.
Yep.
Guys asked. You listen. He's back. The mighty
Cool.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
I love it. I'm
Used a
going
lot
to
of
be
it.
there for that.
Yeah. So we are gonna, this time we are gonna talk about Bruce Lee, his connection with the Lee's family, and all that
Right.
stuff. He was, he was best friends with a person too named Stephanie Kunder, who was one of the best Jeet Kune Do fighters from Sweden. So we're gonna talk about of his best friend who passed away in 2011. Rest in peace. He was such a great guy. Unfortunately, I never got to meet Stefan. I always wanted to because Memnock always talked so highly about his best friend. And we're gonna talk about Ted Wong, one of Bruce Lee's best students and one of Bruce Lee's good friends, who also passed away many years ago. But we are also going to talk about, his time training under Ted Wong and what he learned. And we are going to, talk about Bruce Lee's family, what Ted Wong said about Bruce Lee's family, and how Bruce Lee was on set, and Brandon Lee and all of them. And we're going to talk a little bit about The Crow, because Memnock loves that movie, and I do love that movie too.
I do too.
Yeah. And
actually, I know one of the screenwriters really well, John Shirley.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really cool, man. No, it's gonna be an interesting show. T-shirt historian is gonna be there with me because he was there last time. And we are gonna discuss and talk about Tarantino's comments about Bruce Lee.
Yeah, I think that deserves a whole show.
Yeah, and I will say this, Memnock and what Ted Wong said about Bruce Lee is totally different story, what Tarantino said. And remember, Ted Wong was with Bruce Lee almost every time, all the time. They worked together, trained together, did movies, everything.
Are you a fan of the Ip Man movies?
I am a fan of them. They are a little bit over the edge with the fighting, of course, because they're gonna look a little bit cool at the same time and magical. But I do really enjoy them. I really like Donnie Yen because Donnie Yen is perfect to play Ip Man. He's the one actor I think really deserves it. So
there's also a Star Wars connection with Rogue One.
Yeah. Because Donnie Yen plays in Rogue One. I don't like the Rogue One movie, but one thing I do like, Donnie Yen.
Yeah, that character was a very cool character.
Yeah,
and I love Donnie Yen. I've been a martial artist, and I've been into martial arts movies and Jeet Kune Do for a very long time. I saw my first Bruce Lee movie. I was just talking about this yesterday with T-shirt historian when I was 13 years old, and I've been into both Bruce and Brandon Lee for a long time, and was devastated by both of their deaths.
That's understandable, and I remember when I was young, I didn't know they were dead. I didn't know that. So when I did find out that when I got older, I got really sad because I really looked up to them.
Yeah.
And I got to meet Memnock, who's a legend in Norway of black metal and everything like that. And I'm just like, he trains Jeet Kune Do. He trained under Ted Wong. He knows about Bruce Lee and everything like that. So it's just like, how was I so lucky to get to know a person who is connected with Elise and all that? So for me, that's a sign that it was meant to be. And
Are you familiar with his daughter, Bruce Lee's daughter?
Shannon Lee,
Yeah.
yeah, she was one of my crushes. I've seen some of her movies. I didn't really like her.
She went from a position of having lost the rights to her father's image and films to lawyering up and getting the rights to his image back and his movies back,
Yes.
and has
One
a
thing-
podcast.
Yeah,
And I listen to her podcast a lot.
yeah, and also one thing we're gonna talk about on the stream is, you have the movie Game of Death and another movie where they show Bruce Lee's death. They show him dead in the movie and disrespects him with showing all that and using a lookalike. And we all know that the Game of Death movie was not Bruce Lee's The Game of Death. He had a totally different movie and setup. And I'm happy that the real cut came out. You didn't get the full movie, but you got the short version of what he made of the fighting scenes, the whole fighting scenes at the end.
And they found footage that wasn't in the original film.
Yeah, because the original film is not Bruce Lee's movie. They just took his clips. They just took his clips from the fighting. Because in Game of Death, they use a cardboard to like pretend to be his face in one of the scenes. They used a look-alike. They showed his body in the casket, and a lot of stuff like that.
I don't remember that.
No, they did.
I'm not saying it's not the case. I'm just saying I don't remember it.
No, I do, because I
I don't remember a lot of stuff.
I will honestly say I used to have that on the DVD, and I did throw it away because this was such a disrespect to Bruce Lee that
honestly, I've seen Game of Death at least half a dozen times, and I don't remember seeing his body in a casket.
No, you will. It's when he fakes his death. Like in the movie,
the ending that I remember was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he beat Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, no, it's early in the movie because you remember he fakes his death, and then they use Bruce Lee's body and stuff like that. They use the images from his funeral and the casket and stuff.
I'll have to rewatch.
Yeah,
I mean, I haven't seen like an upscaled or HD version or anything like that.
If you buy, a collection of Bruce Lee's movies now in Blu-ray and stuff, you don't get that version of Game of Death, because that's not Game of Death that Bruce Lee made. You will get the full fight scene. That's around 30 minutes. The full fight scene, no cuts, no nada. You will get the full scene, and the full scene at the ending too, with the basketball player. You will get the full
Kareem
ending.
Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah. Because what you saw in the Game of Death movie was not the full version. That was an edited version.
Right.
So you can see now the full version of the ending of him being blind and how they used that to beat him down. It's good. It's a shame that we never got to see the full movie that Bruce Lee wanted to make. Yeah. And one thing I really want to do one time in my life is that I would love to get a hold of Shannon Lee and try to ask her for permission to make his full story of Game of Death to a real movie.
That's a great idea,
and respect him
having
for what he
her
made
on the channel would be a great step in that direction.
Yeah, because for me, who's I love Bruce Lee. He inspired me and a lot of my life, and I really want the real version of Game of Death. And if I get the chance to make that movie, I'm gonna cast what the movie was supposed to be, about an Asian guy. I will cast an Asian guy. I will not do anything woke shit with the movie. I will make it exactly how Bruce Lee intended to make it, and make it really good, and make the fight scenes as good as he wanted them to be.
Well, and you've got Memnock to help.
Yeah. He would, dude, if I ever got that chance, Memnock would, of course, be a part of the project.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Let's start the search for Shannon Lee.
But yeah, I need to find out how to contact her, and I will ask Memnock if he knows any ways to contact her.
Yeah, I would love to have a chance to interview her on my channel.
Yeah, it's understandable. But yeah, so a full set planned of that day, and it's not long too, and I hope that people will show up and we're gonna have a great effing time.
And what day is that?
The 18th.
18th.
18th, this Saturday in Norway. And it will be the same time as normal as we did last time we did Memnock stream.
And that'll be Friday in the U.S.?
I think so. I
Yeah.
think so because I am one head I'm in the future.
Right.
Um,
Or I'm in the past.
Yeah, I would say that the future is not any interesting. But yeah, I'm really excited, and we're also gonna, since T-shirt is there too, we're also gonna talk about some of the lyrics and some stuff we know with this music. And I'm gonna say this too before we go to our next topic and stuff is I was at a seminar with one of them. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, Andy.
Yeah, Andy says I was once at a seminar with one of Bruce Lee's fellow Wing Chun students.
That is amazing.
And
And
I've studied Wing Chun.
yeah. So yeah, Memnock and I, we have agreed that we will make a music video. And I'm
That's very
still-
cool.
And it's a 12-minute song because it's about a full story. And I did post it on my Twitter because I'm still looking for people to like maybe film themselves and write about themselves like in a text in the video and about their mental health and who they are basically a little bit, because spread awareness of people's different mental healths. And it's gonna be a 12-minute video. We want to try to get more people into it, and this is gonna be a big music video that they're gonna release. So I'm really looking for people
Very
to
cool.
get in that video.
Yeah.
Yep. So if people want to join, hit me up, and we will make it happen.
Definitely. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going to use the Donnie Yen segue, if I can, into your love of Star Wars. Can you tell
Yeah.
us about that?
My love of Star Wars. Well, Star Wars. I'm just gonna read it.
Andy Masterson says he replied, Bruce Lee kind of guy, you say, hi, how are you? And he punches you in the face and says, where's your fucking kung fu?
No, my love for Star Wars. That it's always been there, since I was born. It's always been there because my father always had Star Wars on TV. It was always there, so I can't remember a day without Star Wars. I saw the version before. When Han shot first.
Yeah.
Hand
Hand just shot.
Yeah. Long before the special editions. Even though I like the special editions, I'm not gonna lie, I don't mind them. But no, so Star Wars was always there. I didn't read any books or comics, how would I say this? I got a bit of the comments. But yeah,
I read some of the early Marvel comics, but that's about it.
yeah. No, when I was young, I didn't read or anything. I just watched movies and shows, mostly just movies. I grew up with horror and a lot of horror movies, Star Wars and stuff like that. But Star Wars was always on the screen, and I just fell in love, in this space opera world with Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader as the father, and Leia and Han, and it was just something new. There was something before its time, it was something. How do you say it? It was a masterpiece because when I also was young, I never saw other people do this amazing things like Star Wars.
Right.
And it just inspired me, and it was always there. I just loved it, and as older I got, more love for the love for Star Wars just got bigger and bigger, and it was like in 2016 or 17 I finally got to read, because I'm dyslexic, so I had problems reading as a child. But in 2017 or 16, I said, "Fuck it, I want to read," because I had a Star Wars comic that I had when I bought Cade Skywalker and Darth Talon toys, and you got a comic with it, and and that was the first comic I did read of Star Wars, like in that way. Because I couldn't read before that, because I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna learn to read." Um, so no, and then I read that, and that was Dawn of the Jedi. I think it's Force War. It's the Force War edition, the third comic book in Dawn of the Jedi. That me and Chris from my company are currently, going through on streams. We are working on the next stream now, reading through the book again and making a big thing to, go through the pictures of characters and story and stuff like that.
Sort of doing a audio version. You're reading the comic.
No, we're not reading the comic. We are going through the story of the comic and the plot points of the comic. But yeah, so the love for Star Wars has always been there. It always inspired me to be the guy I am now. It inspired me to be a filmmaker. It inspired me to make my own movies. Like, when I make movies, when I make comics, when I make my own stories. So it was always there, always, intrigued me. And the prequels came, and that just gave me, when I was young, when the prequels came, I remember watching Revenge of the Sith for the first time in cinema, because I think I never watched.
Good movie.
Yeah, I never watched Phantom Menace or Attack on the Clone. Fuck, why does my mind blank out right now?
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, sorry, my mind just blanked out. No, I never watched them in the cinema, because I didn't go to cinema that much when I was young. But finally I got to, watch Revenge of the Sith on cinema, and I remember me as a child, and the babysitter that was with me, because I had a babysitter who took me with, because my mom is an ass. So I was with her. The fun thing about my babysitter, I had a big crush on her. I have talked to her earlier on, she works down where I live. She works in a store here. And it was really fun meeting her again. And I just had to tell her, when I was young, I had a goddamn crush on you.
And let me guess. And she said, "I know."
Yeah.
Yeah. That happened to me too.
Yeah. But no, so I remember I was so excited for the movie. I couldn't sit normal in the cinema. I was shaking. I was like, "Oh, come on. Beat his ass, Anakin. Take Obi-Wan. Come on." I just wanted to see. I love the Sith side, I was always the Sith, like, "Come on, Anakin." And of course I knew he was going to lose, because, it's Darth Vader, but it got me so excited. And me and my dad, because, he's the big Star Wars geek. He was the geek before me. He loved playing a lot of Star Wars games, and
I was personally amazed to find out just recently that Christopher Lee did all of his own sword fighting.
Yeah, he did, because he,
those movies.
That's why he also chose that lightsaber style, with the saber style, because that's what he could. That was his specialty.
Yeah,
so it was
he was
fun.
A sword fighter in many movies.
Yeah, and also, remember he was also in the wars and stuff. He
movies in Italian, Spanish, English.
And remember, he also, was in wars and stuff, so he knew how to fight.
Oh yeah, he was in the Second World War. Yeah.
Yeah, he knew to fight.
Yep.
He really knew how to fight, and that's why the only disappointment I have, I love Phantom Menace, I love Attack on the Clone, I love Revenge of the Sith. I'm a prequel defender, always gonna be. But
I like the prequels a lot more since the sequel trilogy came out.
Yeah. No, but only complaint I really have to George Lucas. Why did you waste Count Dooku? Why did you waste him? He was one of my favorite characters.
Well, I mean, it was part of
Yeah, I
the
know.
arc of the character, right?
It was, I know, but I just love Christopher Lee. I didn't want to.
It's no, I'm a huge Christopher Lee fan.
Yeah.
I bought a copy of the movie that he's in where he plays an Egyptian expert or a witchcraft
Yeah.
expert.
I remember he also played Dracula.
Oh, of course, yes,
Yeah.
famously.
Yeah.
And lots of times in the Hammer films.
Yeah.
But there was a interview on this DVD on a commentary track that a fan had done with him, and it appeared on the DVD of this witchcraft themed film, and he talked a lot about not just his acting career but his life and a lot of stuff that people don't know.
Yeah. No, but Star Wars has always been my biggest inspiration. Where I have, I have a lot of Star Wars comics and books, figures, tattoos, snapbacks. I have a Star Wars poster straight in front of me. It's the 40-year celebration poster.
Cool.
I got it for cheap. Like, I went to the comic store. They have the sequel posters. You have to pay a lot for the sequel posters.
Of course.
And then you have the original 40-year celebration poster with Luke, Darth Vader, Leia, Han Solo, and all of the originals. And I'm just like, why is this so cheap? Like, this is this is the original shit. This should be more expensive than the sequels. But I bought it. I had to have it.
Probably people weren't as familiar with the old stuff.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunately that's how it is now. They just want the sequels, but yeah, my love for Star Wars is big. And no, I will say this: Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader and the whole Luke family is not my favorite story. They are not my favorite characters. Not that storyline. My favorite characters is Jason Solo, Jaina Solo, Kite Skywalker when it comes to the Solo and Skywalker family. They are like my favorite characters.
And that's a part of the EU that I have yet to explore.
Yeah. There is only one Star Wars universe, and that's the EU. Now, it's Disney, they can go and screw themselves.
Yeah. For me, just like Star Trek is 1966 to 2005, Star Wars is 1977 to however long it took for the sequels to finish.
Yeah. No,
or
so
the prequels. Sorry.
Yeah, the prequels. But no, I would say this, that for me, nothing will beat Star Wars of movies, shows, or whatever. Nothing will beat that for me, and they will always be the biggest part of my life. And at the same time, I have a big connection with my dad with Star Wars, because he was a big Star Wars fan. He always regrets to this day because he's just like, you know so much more than me, and I'm just like, yeah, because you don't read shit, you just watch the movies. He's like, but yeah, I'm too old to read. I promise reading. It's just him because he doesn't like reading.
But all that stuff is on audiobook, isn't it?
It is, but my dad is he doesn't like to listen to he's not a big fan of TV shows either. He just likes to have one movie.
He's not into the audiobooks, huh?
No, it's just
if
how
you
he
gave
is.
him a present of audiobooks, he wouldn't listen to them.
No, he wouldn't. He's not a big fan of that. He's more of a simple guy when it comes to certain things. It's just
Sure.
That's just how he is.
Yeah.
I'm
not into audiobooks either.
No, but he got me. So if there's something he wants to know, I will just pop up and find it for him. So he always asks me if there's something. But no, so I am gonna make a Star Wars fan film at some point, where with my my own story and base it off the
I will
original concept.
tell the audience that I watched your fan edit of
Oh yeah,
the Last Jedi,
yeah.
and it was much better
Yeah,
than
it's not good.
the original.
It's not good, but it's better.
I still didn't like it,
Yeah,
but
same here.
I disliked it less.
Yeah. Well, at least I try to make Luke a little bit better as
Yeah.
much as I can of what I can use.
And you didn't have access to deleted scenes or anything like
Yes,
that.
I did have some of the scenes in it
Oh, you
from
did?
the Blu-ray. Yeah. Luke crying. One of the scenes when Finn gets his jacket back. And yeah, I think that's basically it.
I didn't know those were on the Blu-rays
No.
because I refused to buy the Blu-rays.
Yeah, I had it because I was gonna edit. So, and
But
yeah,
there's allegedly, according to Lucasfilm, footage of, I think 10 minutes of footage of Han Solo, Princess Leia, and Luke Skywalker from The Force Awakens that was unused and ended up on the cutting room floor.
that is a big possibility, and unfortunately, we will never see them together again.
I'm not so sure about that. They've made some noises about redoing the sequel trilogy and using that footage.
It's not
Or at
gonna
least
happen.
I've heard
It's-
rumors about that.
Yeah, it's just gonna be rumors. For a person who is, been in the Star Wars community for a long time, I've heard a lot of weird fucking shit all my life. Never happens. Never happens. The only thing that we were right on is the stories they made and the leaks that got leaked. But
And what got leaked?
when it comes to, like, for example, Soy Milker, Rise of Soy Milker, as we call the movie, the last sequel movie, it got leaked. The story got leaked. Pictures got leaked, and they were real.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't see that movie either.
No.
After The Last Jedi, I was done.
Yeah. No, I'm actually.
I love Star Wars too.
Yeah. No, I am actually doing a re-edit of I started a re-edit of Soy Milker, and I have removed Palpatine.
Good.
He's gone. There's no
It's-
Palpatine.
I mean, what Ryan Johnson did to Star Wars is
And
unforgivable.
J.J. Abrams, both of them.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
people around.
it's true. But actually, I really like Looper, Ryan Johnson's previous science fiction film, and I've heard really good things about Knives Out, but
Both,
I
that was so
probably
bad.
won't
Oof.
ever see it.
You know who the bad guy is at once when you watch the movie. You just look at the character at once. You're just like, that's the character. It's a boring story. It's like, oh, okay. It had to be him.
I mean, it's just the sequel trilogy is just kind of a pale, redo of the original trilogy, except
It
with
is.
a Mary Sue
Yes.
that knows how to
Yes.
fly the Millennium Falcon and knows how to use the lightsaber and
Yep.
all that kind of stuff. That's just it's boring.
It's just how it is, unfortunately. And, they attack us, and we will still continue fighting for our opinions and stuff like that.
Are you familiar with? Now I'm spacing his name. Joseph Campbell.
Joseph Campbell sounds really familiar.
He's one of the big influences that George Lucas drew on. The Hero's Journey,
Yeah.
Mask,
I've heard of
The
him.
Man with 1,000 Faces,
Yeah.
those kind of things. If you search on YouTube, you can find a lot of really great footage of him being interviewed shortly before his death, and he's very animated and excited and talking about, what makes storytelling great. And this is something that Lucas was very into, understood,
Yeah.
and that J.J. Abrams and Ryan Johnson didn't.
Yeah, the thing with J.J. Abrams and Ryan Johnson, they can never make something original. They don't know how to make shit when it comes to stuff like that. They like to copy other things and just copy paste. And
I will stand up for Looper. I think Looper is a great movie. It's well written, well made, and Rian Johnson wrote and directed it before he ruined Star Wars.
Yeah, but you can also find clips of, you can find clips of Rian Johnson saying that you take from the good movies and you steal that and put it in your movies, and he wants.
Well, and
to,
you
like,
can also find clips of him dissing, Mark Hamill and Star Wars and George Lucas, and I mean, I was very interested to see, the two of them on their press tour or junket for The Last Jedi, and the reporter would ask Rian Johnson a question, and after he was done, Mark Hamill was very respectful and was quiet, and then he would voice, his opinions and, say, I was very surprised what Rian Johnson did with the Luke Skywalker character, and I wasn't really happy about it.
No, he doesn't understand Luke. He disregarded who Luke really, really is, and also when when it comes to like Kylo Ren, aka Adam Driver's character, Ben Solo, they just ripped him off of Jason Solo and disrespected Jason Solo's character. Because if you read the EU, you will have a good story about Jason Solo, how he.
I mean, one way to look at it is they left Jason Solo alone, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm really happy about that.
So,
they also stole the story of Heir of the Empire, if I don't remember wrong, with the cloning of Palpatine and stuff like that. And they just took that and just destroyed it.
Is odd because at the beginning, when Kathleen Kennedy had been, part of the purchase by Disney for Lucasfilm, her first executive action was to throw out all of the EU.
Yep. But they still steal from the EU.
They promptly stole from it.
Yeah, and when it comes to like the sequels and a lot of what Disney's doing with the Star Wars things, we don't call it fan fiction, we call it corp fiction. Yeah. Corporation fiction. Corp fiction.
It really is fan fiction. It's just very
fiction.
Badly done, badly executed.
Yeah, and then, they focus on all the woke points and all that, those things that they want to do, and they don't focus on the story anymore. But
Daisy Ridley said before Rise of Skywalker came out that they came to her and they said, your character's parents are nobody.
Yeah, the thing is that...
and then they came to her and they said, your parents are going to be Skywalkers. And then she was like, oh, cool. And then they said, no, they're going to be Palpatines. And she was like, oh, okay. And they kept changing and like...
Yeah, it changed a lot. It was like, you're going to be, from the Kenobi family.
One of the reasons it was such an expensive movie is they were writing it as they were filming it.
Yeah, so they didn't even know what to do
reshooting it and rewriting it as they were filming it.
Yeah. But no, it's annoying. But when we talk about the positive thing about Star Wars, it has inspired so many movies. It has inspired people with a lot of movies. Like a lot of science fiction you will see, a lot of that have George Lucas and Star Wars inspired. There's a lot of
George Lucas himself was inspired by the old Republic serials of the 30s and 40s. I remember my dad said that when he was growing up in Israel, Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers would come to the theater, and he loved watching those when he was young.
Yeah, and also what I do love...
inspired George Lucas, as well as footage from World War II, like the sequences where the ships are firing at each other are literally...
The thing I was going to say, too, is that...
the same exact thing as guns from World War II ships.
Yeah, it's like, I was going to say, like, what I also loved with the Star Wars movies with George Lucas and everything, and what he made is that, he based it on samurais and the war from,
the
World War
Budo
II.
honor system.
Yeah, when you read Dawn of the Jedi, you will see Egyptian styles and monk styles. You will have the whole thing. And then I'm gonna say this to Disney. You said that there were like no diverse things in Star Wars. If you really read the fucking Dawn of the Jedi and a lot of other things, you will see a lot of inspired things from Egypt to Vikings to
Well, even in
everything.
the Lucas films,
Yeah.
the names of characters like
Mhm.
Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn,
Yeah,
know,
and
Andy Masterson pointed out
yeah.
some things that I didn't know, but Jinn comes from the Muslim tradition. A lot of the names come from
yeah.
Eastern
And-
philosophy and
Yeah, and at
traditions.
the same time with the Darth Vader's costume, it's also based on a samurai costume at the same time.
And
The helmet and everything.
it's got Hebrew on the front.
Yeah.
And it just keeps going.
Yeah.
I mean, he really
No,
at
I
a young
know,
age was
yeah,
very well educated in that stuff.
Yeah. No, the logo from the Hebrew thing, is his deeds will not be forgiven until he merits.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's what I love. Like George Lucas, he really knew what he inspired things from, and it's super diverse when you think about it in a realistic way.
Yeah.
Always been.
Without pushing your
Yeah.
nose in it
Yeah.
or lecturing you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in the first film, A New Hope, when I saw it in the theater 26 times, it was just called Star Wars.
Yeah.
But
before,
he
episode
had
4.
his wife, Marcia, as his editor, and she
Yeah.
would read the screenplay and be like, no, this isn't going to work, and that's not going to work, and throw this out. You should put
Well,
this here
fun thing is
instead.
that Luke almost became a girl. Like before Luke became Luke in the movie, it was almost a girl. And a fun
It's
thing,
true.
I used to own that figure because they made a toy of it and showed pictures, and they called
But
it Luca Skywalker.
After George Lucas divorced her, nobody stood up to him, and nobody would tell him those things, and so he was surrounded by yes men, which is why the special editions got made, which were really
Yeah.
awful,
I
and
will-
the
Like, when it comes
prequels
to-
were littered with all this electronic whiz bang graphics, and
But remember, it was not all CGI in the prequels. It was a lot of things behind the scenes. If you remember
That's true.
the Asian, you
Yeah.
remember the Asian guy from MythBusters? He made a lot of things when they filmed
Yeah.
cities and everything.
Yeah,
Um,
I remember seeing a show where they did a close up on a waterfall, and it was just sand.
Yeah.
From a distance, it was just sand. It was an old movie technique.
Yeah. No, but for me, when it comes to special editions, I don't mind them because for a person like me who's like, George Lucas, he was a little bit when he can choose himself and perfectionist he is with his own things. He really wants to have it his way. And for me, that's how I am too. So I understand him. Is everything in special editions good? No. There's like when Han Solo and some other small stuff, but I'm like, dude, okay, I'm totally fine with it. It's George Lucas movies.
Have you seen the despecialized editions?
The thing is, I actually got to talk with that guy who made them
Harmy?
on the website. Yeah, on the website. And I have the links to download them.
Have you seen them?
I have not seen them yet. I've seen clips.
It's a whole different experience. I mean, again, my generation, it changed everything. It changed movies, of course, but
Yeah.
it was the fandom changed. The Star Wars was the moment when being a fan went from being a nerd or a geek that got kicked around by the rest of the students and stuff
Yeah.
like that to something you could be proud of. You could wear a Star Wars T-shirt and not
Yeah.
get flack for it.
Yeah.
And it was a transcendental moment when, being a science fiction fan and being a a fan of science fiction film, changed from, you're a nerd in the corner that's going to get beat up by the jocks to something that everybody was into. And, all my friends collected Star Wars action figures and Star Wars cards. And it was,
I was the only one.
Lucas made more money off of the marketing than he did off of the films.
I was the only one of all my friends buying Star Wars things when I was young. Nobody really liked Star Wars when I was young. It was just me most of the time. But I was okay with it. I felt special. Even though I got bullied in school, like, oh, you like Star Wars, you like this and this. And I remember one day, this was, I had Marvel comics and Star Wars comics. I couldn't read, but I wanted them and just look through them, because I had problems reading. But, I like to look at the pages. That's how I did it when I was young. And then, you get the bullies and stuff like that, and they come to you and they, they take your comics and they ruin your comics in front of you and laugh and stuff like that. So I experienced a lot of that in school, but at the end, I didn't care anymore. It's like, okay, you're an asshole. I stopped. I stopped coming at school anyway. I just stopped showing up most of the time. But no, when I got home, my dad always waited for me, and we ended up playing the old Lego Star Wars. We played the Revenge of the Sith game, Battlefront 2. We had the KOTOR games. We had Jedi Knight Academy, and stuff like that.
The reason I bring up the despecialized movies is, like I said, I saw all those movies when they came out in the theater, the original trilogy, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
And then it became impossible to see those original versions because Lucas added all the, CGI and stuff like that. And things like Han Solo walking over Jabba the Hutt's tail, which was just ridiculous, and putting extra creatures in the background and, basically ruining the movie visually.
Yeah, I can see your point. Of course, I can see your point.
When I saw the despecialized version of the first film, Star Wars, here in my 5.1 surround sound system, and the Star Destroyer comes overhead, you can really hear it coming overhead. And it's upscaled to 1080p, and now they've done it to 4K.
Yeah.
And it's just like a religious experience. I mean, I'm not sure if I cried, but it was an emotionally moving experience because I hadn't seen that version of those movies since they came out.
Yeah, no, I understand. Like, for me, I can watch the special editions and original editions. I can watch both, and I still love them as much. So I can watch both, but I always go back to if I had like to life and death choose the special editions or the originals, I would take the originals easy. But I accept both because it's George Lucas, so I accept both. But yeah, that's how I think about it, at least.
And what are some of your other genre fiction interests?
Movies. What are
you into as far as anime?
Oh, anime. Well, in anime, I love romances way too much. You have the movie Your Name, Weathering with You, I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, Silent Voice. All of them have like strong messages in the story. Unfortunately, J.J. Abrams is gonna ruin Your Name to make it American version.
Yeah.
And you had Dragon Ball. So I do like some action too. So it's like a little bit, Dragon Ball, Blade of the Immortal. I'm also currently gonna watch Devil May Cry again because it's also a game that I do love. A game franchise. They also made a canon anime.
Are you a fan of Ghost in the Shell?
I used to watch it on MTV in Norway when it was, but I haven't watched it much after that. So I don't remember much, but I have it on my list. So I'm gonna go through all from the originals and up from every anime they have made. I'm just gonna say the movie can suck a big dick, because that really, really fucking sucks.
I'm a big fan of the TV show Standalone Complex.
Yeah,
I completely forget that I'm watching anime. It's just a very good television show.
yeah,
A good cyberpunk show.
yeah. And what else do so in the genes of the anime I do like is really much romance because I'm a hopeless romantic.
Of course.
Um, and it goes a little bit more gory, a little bit more dark because I really like horror-ish things.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. So then you have Death Note, you have Tokyo Ghoul, and stuff like that. And I did watch an anime. I don't remember the name of it, but it was with my ex. I don't remember the name of the anime, but it was really good. It's like you're trapped in a place and everyone is like gotta kill each other, and it's like really dark, really gory. And the guy who's there, he looks like a mummy because his bandages all over his body and has like a Ripper, the Ripper thing to like kill people with.
Oh, the scythe?
Yeah, and it's just really good. I'm gonna find the anime again and rewatch it. And then it goes to a bit more of the Dragon Ball style, a bit just shut off your mind and just look at crazy stories with good.
I bought and enjoy and rewatch occasionally Perfect Blue, Patlabor, and Patlabor 2, and of course Princess Mononoke. Great film.
Yeah.
But as far as anime goes, I have a lot more ahead of me than I have behind me.
Yeah. No, so there is like and I also one thing that annoys me really much now about the new society of Hollywood and all of those people is that they are trying to censor anime and saying it's like they censored they removed and banned one of the episodes of Dragon Ball Super because they called the episode a sexist child abuse episode. And I am just like, what the hell are you guys talking about? And they start with, oh, it's the old guy Roshi, like it's the old guy who's like always a creep. He's always been a creep since the first time. The first time. 8-ball. But no, it's and they do that, and it's another anime they're trying to censor and ban because, oh, the girl is too small and has big boobs, and I'm just like, have you ever watched anime?
Yeah.
And then people from Hollywood and stuff, they said that they're gonna go to Japan to make anime and try to make it more non-sexual and try to make like serious anime. And
yeah, and that's not going to happen.
No.
The Japanese don't do the woke thing.
No. And yeah, if you watch anime, you can find a lot of LGBT plus things. But one, it's not forced. It's just natural.
Exactly.
The anime is just, the show is just like the manga. It's just like that. You don't care when you watch it or read it,
Yeah,
So
I used to live in the Bay Area, in the San Francisco Bay Area, and there was a store that I found there in Berkeley called Another Change of Hobbit. And it was a legendary comic bookstore, and they sold a ton of manga and anime. That's where I got turned on to Akira, and I bought more manga than comics back then, and that was in the 2000s.
yeah, No, I do remember Akira. The sad part is that they're gonna make a live action of
I
Akira.
know, which is, it's just a mistake to make live action anime movies.
Yeah, and the director is gonna be, the guy who made Thor 3 Ragnarok, the
Taika
Takaika.
Waititi?
Yeah, he's gonna
Oh
make Akira.
God.
Yes.
I'll say one thing for Taika Waititi. I really enjoyed What We Do in the Shadows. I thought that was very fun. It had Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords, who's also from New Zealand, and it was very funny. And it spawned a TV show that neither of them are in. That's also funny. It's not as funny as the film, but
No.
he has a good sense of humor. But as far as the adaptations go and stuff, I don't think that's his strong point.
No, because now we are gonna get a live action of One Piece on Netflix, and that's also a big anime. We are also gonna get a live action of one of the most popular animes, My Hero Academia. I always fuck up the last name, but because I'm Norwegian, dyslexia.
Academy?
Yeah, Academy. Yeah, basically Academy, basically. But they're gonna make that into a live action film, and it's just gonna get more and more live action films of.
Do you have any feelings one way or the other about the live action remake of Cowboy Bebop?
Well, I've never watched the anime, but I don't like the actress for being such an ass to the fans, and of course she complains about the suit, and I'm just like, there are pictures and stuff with you that wear weird shit, so
Right.
yeah.
So stop
And
preaching and play the
yeah,
character.
yeah, and it's gonna suck. But after I've never watched anime, but after like getting to know that we're gonna get a live action who looks really bad already, I'm just like, I should really give the chance to the anime and actually for once watch
Isn't
it.
there a streaming service that's all anime?
You have two, Funimation and Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll. Yeah.
Both of them.
Weren't they both bought by somebody?
Probably. I don't use them.
Yeah.
I live in
mean,
Norway, so I don't care about
That
them.
would be the best way for me, anyway, to catch up on stuff that I haven't seen.
Yeah, and but no, Death Note is like one of the big favorites and always gonna be one of the big favorites. But I am gonna give one complaint to the writers when they made Death Note the sequel manga. When they start using Trump and political stuff in
Oh,
the
yeah.
manga,
Forget about it.
yeah, it's like, okay, the story in this manga is like at one point in the manga. I don't remember when in the manga it is because it's such a long time since I read it. But they made Trump trying to buy the Death Note book from the Shimigami, the Death God himself, and offering money, and I'm just like, what the f, what is this? Like, this is not what we like with Death Notes.
Yeah. That's fucking
And-
ridiculous.
Yeah, and some people behind the Death Note manga now, they have been like talking about should Biden buy the book or not in a new manga, and I'm just like, stop doing that, just stop doing that. We just
Yeah.
But I have seen, you have the anime and the manga, both really, really great. Yes, you got the live action film, but I do defend it a little bit, even though I know it sucks when it comes to being a Death Note movie.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that I really like the actors in it, and not L. I was not the biggest fan of the L actor because he's supposed to be an albino Asian guy, basically with black hair, and he was so out of character. But the main guy, yes, they changed him a lot, but it fit the movie. It's just like if you take away the Death Note name, it's a decent movie, teenage.
I feel kind of similarly about the live action Scarlett Johansson Ghost in the Shell film. I watched it again recently,
Yeah.
and if I don't think of it as Ghost in the Shell, it's an okay science fiction movie.
Yeah.
But It's not Ghost in the Shell.
No, and one of the other problems with that movie is that she was first an Asian young girl, and then they're rebuilding her, and then she's white, and that's like whitewashing in the hardest. It's like, no.
Although, to be fair, in their defense, the Motoko Kusanagi character has always been portrayed as kind of a cross between Japanese and Caucasian, but very heavily on the Caucasian. Like
that was just
70%.
the way they did it in the movie. I felt that was really out of place. I did not.
I
like
agree.
It. No. Yeah,
I agree.
But yeah. But one live action movie that was actually pretty decent. Alita, the Battle Angel.
Oh, I loved Alita, Battle Angel.
That was one of the best. I felt that had respect to the
source material. Yeah, absolutely.
It had actually was.
I didn't even know it was an anime when I saw the film.
No,
or a manga rather.
Yeah, and also, but still, when it comes to the Death Note movie, you just take away the name. It's more a decent teenager horror thriller movie, but we are gonna get the sequel. And it's the guy who made the Mortal Kombat movie now, and he
the
did
new
promise,
one or the old one?
The new one. And he did promise one thing: they're gonna stick more to the source material in the sequel. And I'm not hyped. Well, I'm not excited.
Then again,
I know.
When they made Alien versus Predator, it didn't do well, and it wasn't a good film.
I will say
the producers said,
I love that movie.
Now we're gonna do Alien versus Predator Requiem as an apology, and we're gonna do it right. And people liked that film even less.
Yeah, I did not like the second one.
Although I own both of them.
Yeah, I did not like the second one that much, but I still like some of the designs of the alien hybrid of Predator and a xenomorph. I did like that, but when it comes to like AVP, the first one, it will always be one of my biggest guilty pleasures. And I know it's not the best movie. I think
it had a comic book too, or it was based on a comic book.
Yeah, but I just love the movie either way. I just had a great time enjoying it.
It's one of my guilty pleasures.
Yeah, and the extended version, pretty good. I do like it, the extended version. Is it good? No. It is like, it's a cliche movie. It's a movie you basically have seen before. But it's just fun to get the combination of both of them finally fight in a way, and just, it's not canon to the stories either. It's a standalone story. But
Jace, are there any movies or TV shows or streaming coming up that you're excited for?
I'm sorry, I just had to cough. I'm sick. To the people who's watching too, I'm a little bit sick. I am excited for Venom. I was one of the people who loved the movie, first one, and I love that it's Andy Serkis who makes the movie. Gollum, my precious. It's that guy.
Oh, Andy Serkis.
Yeah, or Andy Serkis. Yeah, he's the one who makes the movie. The only fucking annoying thing that pisses me off so much in America and other places, it will come out the 1st of October. I will get all the spoilers before it comes to Norway. You want to know why? In Norway, they moved it to 12th of November.
Huh. That sucks.
Yes. And at the same time, I won't be able to watch it because I'm going to go to a con.
But you guys are getting, is it James Bond before we are?
I have no idea because they pushed it,
Or is it the other one?
Well, I know we got Dune now. On the
Dune,
cinema.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dune's already open there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andre from Midnight's Edge is actually gonna talk about how he felt when he watched it.
Oh, cool.
But still, movies I'm excited for is Venom 2. Let it be carnage. What else was I excited for? I'm a little bit excited for Dune.
Yeah,
It
me
looks
too.
really interesting. Let me just pop up the cinema here so I can remember the movies here. Um, and I might go and watch Dune when I get my payment. And I really want to watch it. So I have not seen Free Guy yet, and I don't know if I will.
I haven't seen it yet. Heard great things about it.
Yeah. And it's a horrorish movie that I'm a little bit excited to watch. The Maligant or Maligant or
Malignant.
yeah, a little bit excited to watch that. So I'm a little bit. It's gonna be interesting to see if we can finally get a really good horror movie for once. It's a long time since I've really enjoyed a horror movie.
Yeah, me too.
Um, yeah, and Venom I already said. Halloween Kills. I'm a little bit excited for Halloween Kills.
Is that the new one with
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yeah, that's the second one, the third
Huh.
one of the franchise now. Because what they did is that they decanonized Halloween 2 and the rest up.
Right.
And so, the Halloween that
The
came out.
2018 one?
Yeah, that's the second movie, and Halloween Kills is the third movie in the
Oh,
franchise.
When
Yeah.
does that come out?
It comes out in Norway 15th of October, and that's the day before my birthday in Norway. Um,
Well, happy birthday.
yeah. So no, it's not that many movies that I'm excited for. It's basically just Dune and Venom, um, and Halloween Kills. That's like the movies I'm excited for, and Matrix. I'm excited to just see what's gonna go on with Matrix. Big Matrix fan. It can go
Oh, the
like
Matrix Resurrections?
yeah, like I said, it can go two ways. It can go two ways, and I'm avoiding the leak spoilers that they're talking about because
Mhm.
I'm gonna go in clean. Matrix is a big thing of my life at the same time, so I
So
am
this is the continuation of the
yeah.
end of...
At least if it's shit, I'm gonna be like, okay, it's shit, but at least I've seen it. I've seen it. I know about it, and just gonna let it be. Talk about it, review it.
Well, that's the cool thing, is regardless of whether it's a good movie or a bad TV show or whatever, you can
Yeah,
always review it, on YouTube. And
yeah,
I think it's a service to people that they don't have to spend their hard-earned money
yeah,
to go see a film based on some, Access Media critics version
mm,
of, what they thought of it. If they're a paid shill of the studios, or
yeah,
in Access Media, if they just make their living, getting goodies from
yeah,
the different studios,
yeah,
it doesn't matter what they say. So
yeah. But the only
people on
thing,
YouTube that will, review it, tell you what their feelings are about the movie,
yeah,
maybe without spoiling it, it's a service.
yeah. But I think we all can most agree on this that the Matrix movie will probably still be better than The Last Jedi and the Star Wars sequels.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. However, there is one red flag. Uh, there's only one Wachowski working on this film.
Yeah, I saw
And
that.
the other one evidently decided not to
Not to.
for some
Yeah.
reason. And that is a
That
red
can be.
flag for me.
That can be because this is a project they did together,
Yeah.
a story they made together.
And
So
in addition, Lana Wachowski made another project without her sibling, and that was Sense8, which I thoroughly detested. Really
not seen
didn't
it.
like it. The TV show that I just couldn't get into. I mean, I watched all of it, and I really hated it. So maybe they're better when they're together.
Yeah, that might be. But we also remember that Jupiter movie or whatever they also made.
Yeah, which
Didn't
I also didn't care for.
No, but at least I got one good actor in it. That was like basically the bad guy. He's a really good actor, but that's basically it.
One thing I'm really looking forward to is the new Indiana Jones movie, even though it's got Phoebe Waller-Bridge and she may be taking over the role. Mads Mikkelsen is one of my favorite actors, and he's a great bad guy. And he's playing a Nazi scientist in this movie. So no matter what happens with Indiana Jones or his teaching assistant, which is what Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character is playing, no matter what happens with them, I'm really interested to see, Mads Mikkelsen just chew the furniture in this movie.
Yeah.
He was so good in Brian Fuller's Hannibal TV show.
Yeah, the
Amazing.
Hannibal show was pretty well.
Amazing.
And a lot of people want him to be gay with the other guy because they were so connected together.
And 0 Hour Discussions with Jam Cruz says, Mads is the only reason a lot of people are waiting for it.
I see that we are actually gonna get Matrix in cinema.
Yeah.
Did not know that. That was
Yep.
only HBO and stuff. HBO Max.
And I'm also really looking forward to John Wick 4.
Yeah, of course. Who doesn't? For fuck's sake, they are great movies.
That'll be a straight to the theater for me experience.
Yeah. Oh, I love those movies. The action, at least. Oh my god, that's good action.
Well, and the interesting thing is, in the first film, there's good action, but it's low budget. The second film, there's more action, bigger budget. The third film, great movie, big budget, lots of action. And I think John Wick 4 is just going to be a feature-length fight sequence,
Yeah. I'm really excited for that and looking forward to that. And we also know that they were in talk to make a show about John Wick.
Really?
Yeah, and
With Keanu Reeves?
I think he was gonna make an appearance. I don't know if it's gonna be him or whatever it was gonna be, but he's gonna show up at some.
He might be a cameo.
Yeah, and we are. One thing I also am really excited for is what was it again? Because Keanu Reeves is also coming with Search. His book, his comic book.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, it sold like 200 million copies or something.
Yeah, because they are, if I don't remember wrong, they were gonna make an anime at it also.
Well, after the very brisk Kickstarter that it had, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Let's see here. I just want to.
What do they make? 2 or 3 issues?
I haven't read them all yet. I am gonna get through them. I think it was 3 issues.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's gonna be what was confirmed a while back was that he's gonna make a live action movie and anime.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
Yeah.
A lot of people expected that to be garbage, and I'm pleasantly surprised that it wasn't.
Well, as far as I have read, it's not woke, so it's
Yeah,
really
exactly.
good.
Yeah.
It's just a good story, and it's like John Wick, just more insane.
Yeah.
But I'm
And,
really looking forward to stuff like that.
Keanu Reeves had input on the story. And I think that's why a lot of people thought, expected it not to be so good because, he's not typically thought of as a writer. But
No.
he's a fantastic fucking martial artist.
He
He
is.
trains every day. And it's something a lot of people don't realize. He's not just an actor. He's also a martial artist, and
Yeah.
he's also in a band.
Yeah, he is. And if people haven't watched Tai Chi, that's actually a fun movie with him as a bad guy.
Have
That's
you
not often.
seen Johnny Mnemonic?
What did you call it?
Johnny Mnemonic?
Johnny Mnemonic. Oh, I'm really not sure right now.
Mnemonic is a really hard word to spell. It's a William Gibson short cyberpunk story that they
Okay.
made into a movie. And Keanu Reeves plays a courier that has sort of a hard drive in his part of his brain.
This is
And
really familiar.
in the movie and the short story, the character of the courier has to like double pack the information in the hard drive to get it all in. And if he doesn't get it out within, I think, 48 hours, then it will leak into his brain and turn him into a vegetable or something like that. It's a really good movie. It's got Dolph Lundgren in it.
Really? Sounds really familiar. I might have seen it. I'm really not sure right now, but I will figure that out.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah. Do you got any more things you want to ask, or I don't know.
Just like what are some of your favorite classic TV shows and movies?
Classic and classic. I have a lot of things that I do really enjoy. Well, TV shows. I have two favorites, and that is Legion and the original Star Wars from 2003 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like my favorite TV shows. But I also one of my other favorite TV shows are Prison Break. It went a little bit sideways at the end, but it's okay. It's okay. And they made a second-ish. They made a new season-ish, a new season show about it. That when they explained how Michael Scofield survived. So I'm like, yeah, it's not the best. It's basically just watching the new one all over, the old one all over, but it was decent. It worked for the most part. Favorite movies, that is Star Wars 1 to 6, The Crow, the Underworld franchise. Yeah, not all the movies are great, but they're still one of my favorite franchises. That's my dream woman of all actresses, basically, and characters. Other movies. Yeah, I said The Crow. The original Blade movies. The original
Oh
Blade
yeah,
movies.
love those, especially Blade 2.
Yeah. And of course, you have Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 1 and 2, the third
Love
one.
those.
Yeah. But I recently did watch The Amazing Spider-Man again, and like I say, if you want to fight me or disagree with me, it's totally fucking fine. But I love Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I love the darker version. I love the setup in this universe. It's more of my universe of Spider-Man, if you know what I mean.
Right.
I have read comics that are a little bit, more dark, and I just love the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. Even though, yeah, the second one is not the best, but I still love it.
Me
That's
too.
some of it. Yeah, that's our channel.
Yeah. So everybody, please subscribe to 540 Studio. A lot of good material. And
Thank
there
you.
is the link there in the chat. And you
Thank
get a
you.
look at some of the stuff going on. Very
Yeah.
active channel. A lot of good stuff.
We had Chuck Dixon on,
Mm-hmm.
the legend himself.
That's a big win.
And that was a really good win. And yeah, we have a lot of certain point. I can say that also before we end and all stuff. I have an announcement with the channel. I do have an announcement that we are working on behind the scenes. We are actually making merch.
Really?
Yes.
Cool.
I am currently working on Teespring and making different stuff. We are gonna launch a simple with a simple design first and try it out. And you can get it in black, pink, whatever color you want, basically.
Cool.
Um, and we have a mug, t-shirts, and some stickers. And we are gonna like make more stuff, but it's like a test drive of some merch. And I am gonna order some of my merch this week when I get my payment to check out the merch. And when I do release it, I hope people will, if you enjoy our content, enjoy us, and want to support us and help us. It would be real nice if you want to like buy some merch and support us and spread the word of 540 Studio.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up, Jace, I just want to thank you for coming on. It was
Always,
kind
man.
of short notice, but I'm glad that
no
you were able
problem.
to pick a day that would
Yeah.
work for both of us.
Yes.
I'm a big fan, and I love you a lot.
I love you too, brother.
And really good to have you on, man.
Yeah, and I will try to come back more on Sundays, but we also have Sunday shows now, so
Yeah.
we are working a lot. But one day, I will come back on.
Well, you're keeping busy, and that's going
Yeah.
to make the company prosper. So
Yeah.
that's why we're doing tonight one-on-one.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I always say, it's not always fun being the boss of a company, but it's also fun, but it's also really irritating at times because
Yeah.
you can lose track of time and life sometimes because you have to work so much.
It's
Yeah.
true.
It is.
All right,
But
man.
I want to say thank you, and it was an honor to have one-on-one with you. And I want to say to this fellowship of people who is watching you, we love you guys. You are amazing. You are a lot of people who makes us, do this. You are supporting us, and life's too short, and all of you make the most of it. And as always, we fucking love you.
It's true. And on that note, it's Cardinal Sin